Did you know that a male kangaroo is called a boomer?
No.
Did you know that? Yeah. Okay, boomer.
Hey there, welcome to Motorcycles and Misfits. Coming to you from Recycle Garage here in really warm, sunny Santa Cruz, California.
Very warm.
Yeah.
It's totally tropical.
I flew in from Vegas, boy, my arm's tired.
Yes.
And it was
Take my
warmer
wife,
here
please.
when I landed, warmer here than it was in Vegas.
That doesn't surprise me. You know, Vegas can get quite chilly in the autumnal and
No, it
winter
was
months.
quite beautiful in the 70s there, and maybe 81.
It was
the day.
cooler here than
But it was very
Kansas
nice.
City, too.
Very nice, and I just wanted to throw out a recommendation that if you're going to Vegas, check out Area 15. I had a blast there. It's, I'm going to say, alternative entertainment in that it's all like VR, surreal
No, wait.
stuff.
So, Area 15 and Meow Wolf are different things.
Meow Wolf is in Area 15.
Oh,
Area
so
15 is like an entire complex
I see.
of different kind of mind-blowing virtual.
You see, this is
weird.
where I was confused, Liza,
things.
because you said you wanted me to run the garage this week because you would be out in Vegas at Meow Wolf.
Yes.
But Meow Wolf is an art installation that is part of something much larger.
Yes, but it's the size of like a Target store. I mean, it's 2 stories. It's very big.
Okay.
Maybe not a Target, but it's the size of like it's big. It's expansive. It's another virtual. That's not virtual. It's another like dimension.
Okay.
It's hard to describe. Everything's like distorted and tweaked and warped and.
But
surreal.
you could buy these things.
Yeah. So check out Area 15. It's good, clean, fun, good food, good drinks, good experiences. It's an entire entertainment complex with many VR experience, fully immersive VR experiences, stuff like that.
Right.
It was cool.
Okay.
Hey everyone, this is Liza. And yeah, as I said, I was in Vegas, had a good time. Thank you, Miss Emma, for opening the garage.
Well, I like running the garage because everyone has to do exactly what I say.
And running the board today, it's Stumpy John.
What's up, everybody? Hey, I'm here licking the barbecue sauce off my lips from Kansas City.
Oh, right. You were out of town, too.
I was out of town.
Nice. And on the classy girl couch tonight, it's Miss Emma.
Hello, darling.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, hello, sweetie. So, no, we had a very, very nice time at the garage, and we did lots of many things today. And, yes.
One of the things we did is hang out with Raymond, who joined us. Hey,
Ramon.
It's
Raymundo.
Ray.
Ray. What up,
Ray,
Ray?
Ray.
Broken Ray.
Yes, slightly.
You're all
slightly
smashed
disabled.
up. Yes.
We will get to that. And
Ray, you had your VR experience. Ray
Yes.
had his getting fully smashed up experience.
yeah.
Real time.
Yes, in real time.
And then Bagel and Naked Jim should be popping in anytime to join us. But we wanted to get going.
Fashionably late, I might add.
Yes. I want to just give a quick update. Emma, last week we talked about my rusty tank and ways to deal with
God.
it. And you had mentioned that you used a wire wheel and welded like rods. To
Yes,
the stuff.
exactly.
So I work in the hardware industry. So I actually was walking around the hardware store and looking at different types.
Yes.
Of course, you get all the little metal wire wheels in
Yes.
the tool section, but you also have things in the usually like the plumbing section that are for
Right.
like cleaning chimneys
Yes.
and cleaning toilets.
Right.
There's a
And-
lot of different
And I
tools.
wanted to stress, as I said last week, this is just step one of step 2. You know, you really need to chemically treat the tank finally. But step 1, which is what we're talking about right now, is removing the loose stuff.
remove
and
as much of the rust as you can.
breaking up that gasoline, that nasty ethanol residue
Yeah.
so that the chemical can do its stuff.
So, yeah, I went around the hardware stores I was at just to see all the different options and what would be the best option.
Yeah.
And what I found to be the best option was something I already had in the shop. But digging through my tools, as I was looking for more like wire brushes and stuff, I forgot that I have a flexible extension shaft for a Dremel tool.
I thought you were going to say something.
Yeah,
else.
me too.
I've seen that flexible shaft you have in the garage. It's,
Yeah.
You might get your picture taken with it.
Yep. And this goes into the end of the Dremel and just gives you a flexible
Yeah.
shaft to use. And then I put my favorite 3M wheel on the end. These 3M wheels are great, and I've used them a lot of times in restoration. It's a I call it just a 3M wheel, but it's really it's a Dremel accessory.
Do you know what 3M stands for?
3 meters of nope, I don't.
Minnesota Minerals and Mining.
Oh, good one.
Oh.
Good one. I remember years ago when we'd had to call 3M because my company bought something from them, and it's like you would get for Velcro and adhesives, hit number 1. For signs and graphics, hit number 2. For space and nuclear, hit number 3. It
Ooh,
was
hit
like
number 3.
crazy things. Anyway, so these 3M wheels that I love. As I said, I've used them a lot because they don't hurt the metal at all.
Hello,
Yes.
Bagel.
But they can take a lot of stuff off. Hey, Bagel.
Hey,
We
baby.
started without you.
Okay.
Are these like the spongy looking ones?
Yeah, it looks like a
I wouldn't
spongy.
say Bagel's spongy looking.
the pros of these 3M wheels is that they don't do any damage or scrapes or anything in the metal. They're pretty small, get in a lot of spaces. But the downside is they dissolve pretty quickly.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to buy multiple ones. I remember I did a BMW R80 hub because I had taken the spokes off. And the hub has those ridges like down the middle.
Hub.
And it took me about 20 of those to completely strip and clean that hub to bare metal.
Hub.
But anyway, so I just put that 3M pad in there, shoved that flexible shaft down in there, and just kind of poked it all around. And Emma, I showed you. What do you think?
It looks great.
Yeah.
And you're going to finish that off with the chemical etching. It's going to look like a brand new
just
tank in
remove as much of the
Yeah.
the surface rust, and then do the which one you said the metal rescue?
there. I am a great fan. If you'd have talked to me 10 years ago, I would have said the Yamaha own brand stuff. But like most stuff that the public can buy, it's kind of been watered down a bit, so I don't like the Yamaha stuff anymore. But the Metal Rescue seems to work very, very well indeed. The thing I like about the Metal Rescue is it's completely harmless. When you're done with it, just pour it down the drain. There's no chemicals in it at all. It's entirely a chemical reaction. It's completely. You could probably drink it. I wouldn't recommend it.
Let's try it.
Huh.
But it's completely safe, which is very, very nice. And it just seems to eat up the rust.
All right.
It's quite expensive. It's about, I think I want to say it's $30 for a gallon.
It's worth it to save a tank.
But, you're saving a tank.
yeah.
And you got cocktails afterwards.
Yes. Yes, you have nice rusty
Well, and
cocktails.
just the amount of time I've taken the carbs off to clean them each time.
Right.
I'd gladly pay $30
And,
to be done with it.
Funnily enough, I'm doing exactly the same job at work right now on a Suzuki GT 550 tank. And I mentioned this bike last week. It came into me. It's a 73. It's a year one with a big drum brake on the front. Gorgeous bike in the factory gold. 700 miles from new.
Is this bike related to the water buffalo?
It's like the water buffalo's smaller sister.
Yeah. Okay.
But funnily enough, there were 3. These were the 3 flagship bikes that Suzuki brought out, the Grand Touring range, and they all came out together. And there was the Water Buffalo, the 750, the 550, and the 380. And they were all slightly different. They all had things going for them. But unfortunately, the 550 seemed to get the least love of all.
Is it air cooled?
Yes. The Buffalo, of course, was liquid cooled.
Right.
And the 380 had a 6-speed transmission. And the poor old 550 with just a 5-speed transmission with air cooling, ostensibly a very simple bike. but they seem to be the most favoured now. 550s are fetching big money now, and particularly the very early ones with the drum brake, which is a glorious piece of engineering. But this one, the tank, it's good and bad news for the owner, and he's probably listening to this right now because I haven't called him yet. And the tank I'm going to manage to save, but all the crank seals are done. So he's going to need an engine rebuild. So, and you always kind of prepare people for that and say, now look, this is a 2-stroke. Just because it's got no miles on it, just because the engine turns over freely, and just because it's got compression, doesn't mean you're out of the woods.
Yeah, but to me, that's best case scenario, because any bike that age, you're going to want to replace a lot of that stuff. If you're making a bike to last, but there's no damage to the engine, so you're not having to replace unobtainium bits.
No. The seals are easily available and brand new. Suzuki make them brand new as part of the Heritage
so it sounds
program.
Like best case scenario.
But you have to press the crank apart. And I used to do that back in the old days, but now I just ship everything out to Minnesota.
It'll be good as new when you're done.
In a lot of cases, it'll be better than new, because the materials now that the crank seals are made out of are better and the design's more durable, and Suzuki have updated it. So, it's of course it's worth it, but it would have been nice to have that Cinderella ending where you put fresh fuel and a battery in it, thing starts up and you ride into the sunset. It ain't going to be that ending.
You mean a Cinderella ending?
Exactly what I meant. Nicely done, Liza.
Thank you.
I think probably Phil will want to write that one. He's probably writing that one down.
We gotta. I think that's our next movie, Cinderella story.
She dropped a cylinder on the way back from the ball.
Oh, we're gonna come up with that. Emma, you ran the garage today. Anything good come in?
Oh, lots of bits and pieces. I'm often struck by the fact that the simplest job on the simplest bike can often take the most time. And this was actually shown today. We had a darling little Vespa ET4 150 come in.
Cute little bike, for sure.
Absolutely cute little bike. Isn't it a little darling, Bagel? However, to change the sparkling plug, you need to be something of a contortionist. And the rule I use is generally the best spark plug tool for any bike is the one that comes in the toolkit. And it's perfectly exhibited by the ET4. And the girl didn't know even if it had a toolkit, so we opened the seat and there was the little box with the tools in it. And lo and behold, it had never been opened. And there was the spark plug wrench. Nice. And without that wrench, I don't think we could have done the job. Because it's just so inhospitable to get to that spark plug. Everything's in the way.
Yeah, it's in a very difficult spot and not a lot of room around it to get to it.
And the prospect for cross-threading it is high when you put it back in. That's the only part of the job I did. I said, look, I'm going to start this for you because, you're basically working blind and you need very long, thin fingers, which I don't possess. I'd make a fantastic bass player because my fingers are very fat and short and dum. But I said, look, I'm going to start this off for you, and then you can kind of finish it up, and you can do it finger tight, and then give it a couple of wangs with the plug wrench. And God, what a job, But hey, it is what it is. I'm almost thinking, Bagel, it would be easier if we did kind of a complete service and pulled the cam cover off and did the valve clearances at the same time, and just give you that tiny bit more room under there.
Well, and I think you can also drop the rear shock, can't you?
And maybe just expose. Because,
and you might need to do that anyway to get at the cam. So
yeah. There's all these little tricks, but it's funny when I worked at the dealership. me and the other mechanic had very, very different styles of how we used to work on things. And whenever I had a scooter in for engine work, he would always leave the engine in the frame and kind of work with it in the frame. And I used to just take the engine out. I want the whole engine on the bench. I'd just lift the bike off the engine, put it to one side, do what I had to do on the engine, and then drop it back on. And I think in terms of time, there was very little difference between the two techniques when you total up the time. I think it's a case of what you're more comfortable doing. But I always liked having the engine right there, completely exposed. I'm not talking about valve clearances. I'm talking about if you're doing, obviously, a crank. But if you're doing a piston and rings or doing a valve job on it, get the engine out. Made sense to me.
Well, I have to admit, Scotty was here on her slightly modified SV650
thing,
which I am a sucker for big block
I love the way
tires
that looks.
on a street bike.
Yeah.
It's SV650 with a brat seat, which, but still. And then just kind of like, I think like dirt bars.
yeah, they were kind of dirty bars. Somebody had drilled through the top triple tree so you could have normal clamps.
Yep.
And then some sort of like dirt pro tapers.
Yeah.
Rear sets, which is a riding position
What?
I like. Yeah, it's got rear sets on it.
Wow.
So it's same. You rode my Goosey, didn't you? Did you ever ride the
No.
Goosey? Goosey was what I call the Spider-Man crouch, which is, you're kind of up and your knees are high with your feet behind you. I love that riding position. Oh God. It's brilliant. It's Spider-Man crouch.
I'm a sucker for dirt tires on street
And then,
bikes.
yeah,
It looked cool.
TKC 80s on 17-inch wheels. Very chunky.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like a well done modded bike. It was just chopped and, it wasn't well finished, but it just looked fun. I want to get on and ride it.
I think you've just upset Scotty.
No, I'm saying it's not like a show bike. It's just a fun bike. And I like that. I like seeing a bike like that chopped up.
We take that to Hollister and see what happens.
Well,
Death and destruction.
I do. I want to take it in the dirt and have fun, but I don't know.
If you remember, McCarthy, part-time Misfit, was running TKC 80s on his DRZ 400.
Yeah.
With the 17-inch front wheel, because he had a DRZ 400 SM. And he said it was terrible in the dirt.
Oh.
Because you need that big 21-inch narrow hoop, to kind of glide over. And it's very rough riding 17-inch. So they look great. That sort of burly. Yeah. But in reality, in the dirt, it's terrible. It digs in and does everything you don't want it to do.
Let me ask you, Raymond, you saw that bike.
Which one? No, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't see it?
No, it was before.
Would you take something like that on an off-road adventure?
No way.
What?
Clearance. No clearance.
No clearance, Clarence.
Yeah.
Well, from what I hear, even the perfect bike for an off-road adventure ain't so great either.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Even with good clearance, you're not out of the woods yet.
Raymond, what happened? You've got a knee brace on.
You're all smashed up.
You're kind of limping.
I am limping. I just came back from a ride or a tour in Mexico, and it was cut very short. So on the second day, pretty much.
How long was the tour supposed to be?
8 days.
Okay.
It was an 8-day tour. And on the second day, was it second or the third day? I think it was the second day. Somehow I was supposed to be a 130-mile day in the dirt. And the dirt turned out to be a little bit more of a challenge than what I was led to believe.
And what were you riding?
I was riding my 1200 GS Adventure, loaded with luggage.
And what condition would you say your 1200 GS Adventure is in now? Is it totaled?
It might be totaled.
There you go.
I am waiting to hear back.
No.
I am waiting to hear back. I'm hoping it's not, but the possibility is right. It's there.
So you brought up a question, and we're going to get into this and try and be fair. So you went on a tour, and you said it was somewhat disastrous, and it brings up the question. The question you had was, what responsibility do people have who put on a tour. And so let's hear about your experience, and then we'll get into it, because Emma and I have somewhat different views on
Well, and he's talking about a tour, not a group ride.
Exactly. No, it's a paid tour.
Paid tour.
And you're wrong and I'm right.
We'll see.
We'll see.
So here's the deal. So I'll talk about that a little bit later. I've been on many tours. This is not the first one. And I've been to Baja 3 or 4 times already, on a big bike, on a small bike. So I wasn't going there, completely a beginner. And my riding skills are not great. I maybe rate myself an intermediate rider.
Hold on. You've taken Jocelyn's class how many times?
I've taken Jocelyn's class once, but I've taken other classes.
You are somebody who goes to give yourself those extra tools and take classes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's something I do appreciate in a rider who does what they can to give them the tools.
Yeah. So, I believe in training. But I also, I'm cognizant enough to realize that sometimes, your skills might not be, no matter how much training you get, maybe your talent is not right there. And, I'm, on the older side, on the age spectrum, and I'm not in good shape. So
I think you're in wonderful shape.
Thanks, John. Yeah, I think we're going to be riding together in Pakistan. So anyway, from the get-go, I think there was the tour guide leader, somebody who's very well known, and I've been following him. So I had no reason to expect anything different than what I've been used to.
I want to be clear. We're not going to call them out on this.
No.
We're asking the bigger question.
Yeah, exactly. Here. Exactly. And so I thought I did my due diligence by asking both guides whether I should bring my GS or bring my 690, which normally I tend to bring when I think there's going to be challenging terrain.
Remind me, I have something in the garage you may want.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Somebody came by and donated
okay.
a 690 Enduro seat.
Ooh,
it's a custom wide.
Really?
A custom wide.
Okay.
No, I'm saying custom wide seat.
Well, that should
you
fit.
might actually really like it. It looks comfortable.
Liza, are you insinuating that Raymond?
Yeah, I know.
I'm not insinuating at all. I'm
big
saying
ass.
Raymond, you got a big ass. You might like this.
Yeah.
I'm
Again, his
sorry.
ass is perfect as far as I'm concerned. It's just, it couldn't get any better. It's nice and tight.
All right, so you have a 690 you could bring also.
So I had the 690 I could bring, and I asked the question. I said, what should I bring? And both answers were, you don't need to bring the 690. This is a big bike friendly trip. It's going to be mostly hard pack. We might hit some sand, so not a problem. So I decided to bring the GS. It was the tour was supposed to be about 2,000 miles with 1,600 pavement and 400 mile in the dirt. So I thought that kind of makes sense. If we're going to be spending most of it on the pavement, then better get the more comfortable motorcycle. So the first couple of days, like I said, we were on the pavement. Everything was fine, not a big deal. And then that day was supposed to be a long day, 130 miles in the dirt, which should have been a sign for me, because that's a lot of dirt in one day. And it started being not a big deal. It was hard pack. It was very rocky, not a problem. I had brand new tires, Midas tires on them, and I aired them down to 31 PSI just because I was concerned about the rocks and I didn't want to bend
Only
the rim.
31?
Yeah, because again, it was very rocky, so I didn't want to. I wanted to make sure that I wouldn't bend the rim. That actually happens quite a bit in Baja.
Okay.
And so we hit it. We're going at a good clip. I think it was fine. And about 60 miles, we went into a corner, and then there was a deep sand wash there, and the front end just went bonkers.
That's my nightmare, just so you know.
Yeah. So, and all I remember is like seeing the bike lean way over on one side, then on the other side, and I'm thinking, I should gas it so that I can get out of this. And I tried to gas it, but it went into this crazy tank slapper and basically just spit me out.
Oh, man.
Did you do the Jocelyn butt jiggle?
No, I was like,
No.
Yeah, I was so freaked out.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was fine. I got up from under it, waited for whoever was in the in the sweep to come and help me get the bike up, because I couldn't get it up, even though I practiced many times with the whole butt against the seat thing. But at that time, I didn't have it in me. And it turned out that the subframe was tweaked, and the forks were a little bit tweaked as well. So we fixed the forks a little bit. And the one thing that was strange is that when we were on the pavement, the lead guide was sweeping, but once we get in the dirt, he just said that he wanted to, sort of enjoy the ride, do his own ride, and he wanted to go up in the front. And I got a little bit concerned because I thought that nobody was going to sweep. Luckily, the second guide kind of felt bad and said, "Okay, I'll take the sweep position," and so he was coming behind.
I don't understand their reasoning for not having somebody sweep. I know what you said, but it's like, you always want somebody to sweep.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, the weird thing about this tour, which was different than what I'm used to, is that a lot of them kind of knew each other and were friends. And so it felt more like a group ride than like a guided tour.
Right.
That was the one thing that sort of I was struggling with. Anyway, so I go up on the bike again, and then we ride again. Remember, now we're we're midday, and it was like 1 o'clock or something. It was hot, and I was going through my water like crazy. And we start riding again, and I start feeling a little bit... Oops, sorry, Liza. Yeah.
Oh, no, you didn't have to stop that. I was just going to say, and Jim has joined us.
Hey, what's happening?
So I wanted to make sure in case he snuck in. So, and I wanted to say, too, to answer the question, why would a sweep go to the front? I have encountered this kind of situation before, in that when there's... group members that are so far ahead that you may have to get ahead of them to stop them, to like hold the group, or to make a turn, or to like, hey, let's stop for lunch, to communicate.
Yeah,
because it's hard. You can't really communicate. Most people aren't on helmet cams on the helmet conference. Just throwing that out as a potential.
But we had a leader. We had who was in the front originally, and he's the one who decided to sweep at the end. When that happened. So
all right.
Anyway, so
you picked your bike up, dusted yourself off.
The first crash, usually you can sort of get over, and it's not a big deal, But I'm riding again, and I'm starting to feel a little bit more comfortable. So I decided, okay, let's go, 35 miles per hour. I mean, there was only 4 of us who were sort of, I would say, beginner intermediate skills. The rest of the riders were pretty amazing, actually, and they were on big bikes, and they were just flying through the sand. It was unbelievable. Anyway, so 20 miles in, again, I hit a long stretch of sand, and again, I lose my front end. And this time, the bike falls on my knee. And so I extricate myself from under it, waited for, the sweep.
I love the term extricate. It's not like I got up. It's like I had to extricate.
I had...
and I don't doubt that at all. I don't doubt that at all.
We're passing notes.
Oh, no.
I know what it says, too.
I'm going to get in trouble.
The teacher used to grab the note and read it in front of the whole class.
Okay, it says, Naked Jim from Emma. I have learned to breathe through my nose. Would you like to go have coffee later?
Wow.
That's not what it says.
Exactly. I couldn't have put it better myself.
All right, so are you feeling any pain?
Now I am. When I fell, it wasn't. I didn't feel the pain, but obviously I was shaking. It was the second fall.
The adrenaline's probably in, and
yeah.
Adrenaline's a powerful drug.
Yeah. So I waited in the shade until the other guy joined, and 2 guys were behind me at that point.
I have one question.
Yeah.
Did you have a sandwich in your pocket?
No sandwich.
Okay, because that makes it harder to deal with stuff.
Yeah.
If you have a sandwich in your pocket, we know that you're prepared for an adventure. Properly prepared.
I had power bars in the tank bag.
Okay.
That's close,
That passes.
I think that's the BMW version of a sandwich in the pocket.
There it is. Not 2-stroke is Wonder Bread and bologna.
Okay.
And white mayo.
All right. So, and your bike, how's it looking at this point?
So and then we noticed at that point, we hadn't noticed that the subframe was bent in the first crash. We noticed it at the second crash. And so anyway, but I thought it was rideable, I mean.
So wait, your subframe's bent, but the boxes survived? There wasn't a yard sale?
I had soft bags. I had the Reckless 80s.
Good call.
I had the Reckless 80s.
Good call, yeah.
So, so I'm resting in the shade as much as possible. Then, and it was a lot of side-by-sides and smaller bikes because they were all prepping, for the race. And they were all sort of kind of shocked that we were on such big bikes on that trail. So, any case, so after a while, I figured, okay, well, I mean, we were only like 2 miles from where the rest of the group was. We were supposed to wait at the intersection. I hop up on the bike, and there was no way for me to put my foot under the gear lever. There was something, it was a weird feeling. It felt like it was disconnected. It felt like it was like wobbling on its own. And that was a weird feeling because I was no pain. I'm like, okay, why can't I shift gears? It's like, I don't feel any pain. I can walk on it. But as soon as I sit on the seat and try to like put my foot under the foot peg, nothing happens. So we send one of the guys who had arrived, a poor guy, because he was also one of us, the slow riders, who was also freaked out. He was a shorter guy on a GS adventure also, and he had to ride by himself the 2 miles in the sand to get to the group. And they came back. One guy rode my bike, and I rode behind the team leader, which was pretty amazing. I closed my eyes the whole time. I mean, I'm a pretty heavy guy, so he rode with me in the back, full on in the sand.
And you've got about like 32 Clearwater lights on that bike. You can probably light the sky up.
I know, and one of them is busted, actually. Thanks, Liza. So anyway, so we make it to the intersection. I guess one of the guides had called... there were only 2 ranches in that area. We were in the middle of nowhere. Mm-hmm. And one of the ranches, I guess one of the owners had the pickup truck. So they called him. He came out. He came, put the bike on the pickup truck. And we left. I was in the pickup, and the other guys left, and I was like so thankful that I was in the pickup truck because the trail got so much worse. It was amazing how much sand was in those trails, and the guys were falling everywhere. One of the guys fell, broke 2 of his ribs, broke the clutch lever on his Triumph. And anyway, so we went by them because the truck could handle the sand a lot better, and we ended up in that ranch where we were supposed to spend the night. So at that point, I had to make a decision. Do I stick it out or do I just bail? Luckily, I had signed up for insurance and towing insurance, and luckily that ranch had Wi-Fi because there's no way there was no cell phone service. So. The guys and the tour were kind of like, can you shift with your heel? And I'm like, no, because, my knee is pretty busted and I'm not sure I want to fall on it again because I think that would be not a very smart decision. And I was a little bit concerned that there wasn't an eagerness to help, to put it, in terms of like, I had to kind of go and ask for one of the guys to come in and help me with the translations because, I'm calling the insurance. There's a Spanish insurance. I can manage a little bit of Spanish, but not with complicated situation like this. Plus, the Wi-Fi was not very strong, so the call kept dropping. And the other guy with the broken ribs, they sort of jerry-rigged his clutch lever with a vice grip. And he decided that he was going to try it next morning to see if he could ride. I made the decision that it was too risky, and I kept going on the bike to see if I could change the gears, and I couldn't. I couldn't. But I had to decide if I was going to ask the tow truck to come the next day. I was like, okay, what if I wake up the next day and I can actually ride? But then I decided let's play it safe, and and I decided to call the tow truck.
I like to point out that both of these are good cases for the Africa Twin DCT. No clutch lever, no shifter.
That is true. That is very true.
But my God, all that weight up high.
And you find yourself in deep sand, good luck with your DCT transmission.
So to that point, do you think that the 690 would have been much better?
Oh, there was no doubt. I don't know that I've done this deep sand on the 690, but I've done deep sand in Moab. I've done deep sand in Mojave with the 690, and it wasn't a problem. Sand was always my nemesis, but I had gotten to a point with the 690 where I felt comfortable in it, and I thought, maybe I've overcome that, and to just
all of a sudden you threw 200 pounds on right on your lap.
Yeah.
And that makes, I mean, I just spent 4 days in
Plus
the deep
gear.
sand, and I'm like, the idea of an adventure bike in deep sand is just seems. I ran into some guys, oddly enough, came out, they were on adventure bikes. They're like, oh, could you do an adventure bike? And I was like, if I was on an adventure bike where I was like an hour ago, I would be sitting on it crying at the moment.
Oh, the thought occurred to me. Yeah, for sure.
The sand on an adventure bike just is brutal.
Well, I think there's the dilemma. I mean, so those sort of what you're told is that in the sand, gas it up, crank it up and accelerate. And I guess it makes some sense because you want to ride on top of the sand. But when you're in a big bike like the GS and you accelerate, if any slight mistake and the crash is going to be
much worse.
there's no
you're not,
forgiveness
you're not going to be. It's going to be unforgivable.
Well, and the answer is speed, right? Because you get on the throttle, and that is the answer. The problem is once you're going 45, you don't really want to go much faster. So you're all of a sudden, when you're hauling ass at that speed in the sand, your options become really limited really fast.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's what happened with the second time is that there was a rock in the middle of the rut. So I was trying to follow the rut in the sand, and I tried to avoid it, and I hit the side of the rut, and that's what made me. And I think with the 690 that probably wouldn't have happened. I probably would have been able to go over without problems. But with the 19-inch in the front, that just was was it.
This raises some questions.
Yeah.
Talking about the responsibility of a tour company.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to get Kat's opinion on this.
Well, I know exactly. I know exactly where Kat would sit on this. I know exactly where he would.
What is a responsibility to? I mean, like. You're a strong believer that you get your people from point A to B safely.
Well, as you know,
yeah.
I've been a tour guide, I've been a tour bus driver. And it's slightly different because if you're driving a tour bus, especially if you're driving a tour bus on a mountain road, everyone's relying on you to get them safely. And I mean, ultimately, you could kill 55 people, including your bloody self. And we really don't want to do things like that. However, my opinion is this. Raymond wasn't on a tour. He was on a group ride that somebody decided they were going to pitch as a tour. He was on a group ride of a very skilled rider and all his friends who at some stage, probably a couple of years in the past, said, this is great fun. Rather than let's invite some people, let's charge money for that. And when he laid over his money, and you're not talking about a small amount of money, everything changes. Absolutely everything changes. You were on a group ride of a guy and his buddies.
Well, I mean, yeah.
And you should have been...
To some extent.
To every extent. I mean...
I think the buddies were also paying customers, so...
Yeah, but nevertheless...
Well, at the end of the day, if you have an issue, there should be a sweep that picks you up, takes you to a hotel, you have dinner, and you
but
out in the morning.
Arguably, they did that, though. They got him to the ranch.
Yeah, exactly.
And they got him to Wi-Fi where he could call a tow truck. I mean,
true.
They do have responsibility as a business to take the other people forward.
Yeah.
So here's my argument, is that it's an adventure ride. Now, maybe Bagel will join me on this, because even though he was on a scooter tour, it was still an adventure ride. And for that type of riding, we're not always taking the safe route, and we don't always know what the road ahead has. The road might be washed out, landslides, water crossings, whatever. To me, that adds to it. The fact that Bagel got to go over a collapsed bridge, I'm like, I wish I got to do that. Or that a previous tour got to go over an active landslide as it was moving. I'm like, I wish I did that.
But I think
so for me, I hear, it was an adventure, and that's part of the risk you take.
Absolutely. But here's the point. I think there is pressure on these tour operators to fill out their groups.
Right.
Okay? Because that's how they make the money. And that pressure makes it that a lot of the time they either don't vet the riders properly, so they bring over people who had probably no business being on trails like this, And the second one is sometimes they don't exactly tell you the extent of the difficulty of the trail because they don't want to scare you.
It should have been a hint with the Baja 1000, right?
Well, that wasn't mentioned.
Oh.
So that wasn't mentioned.
Well, that's what I'm curious. Like, how did they market it? Because if you've ridden in Mojave, you've taken Jocelyn's course, so you're no stranger to big bikes and difficult terrain. So I'm curious, like, was the marketing accurate? Because at the end of the day, if I'm going to Mojave, I know I'm going to be in some deep sand, and if I'm going to bring my adventure bike, I better have my shit sorted out in the sand if I'm going to go on a ride. That's all, depending on how, unless they market it as, hey, learn how to ride Baja in the sand. But if they're like, hey, this is a Baja adventure tour, to a certain extent, yeah, you better have a sand game to bring to that, right?
Well, and the other thing, too, on an adventure tour, you're going places that cars are not always able to be there. So you don't always have the option of having a cush ride. Yeah, Bagel?
Yeah, and I think, and I don't know, was there anything agreed to beforehand about like support and any sort of like for emergency circumstances? Like, did they have anything in writing, or was there anything agreed upon beforehand? Because I think that would it would come down on how the tour is organized and what sort of expectations are set in the first place. So.
Yeah, so there was nothing like that agreed on.
Okay.
And I think part of the issue was the communication was a little bit lacking. So it was a Facebook post, and I knew the guy because, like I said, I've been following him on Facebook. And you sort of sign up through, Facebook, and then the second guide sends an email with a tour description, like day one we do this, day two we do that, but nowhere in there was like something that would have led me to believe that it was going to be very challenging.
Did they give you a route, like you're going to go from La Paz to some other place?
Yes.
Where you could have Google mapped it and like seen what you were in for, right?
Yes, and they also gave us a GPX tracks. So I had the GPX tracks, but those I only loaded like the night before.
But you see, here's the other side of it. This is all very well for a group ride. This is great for a group ride. Hey, let's go for a ride with our mates. When he slapped down multiple thousands of dollars, that is a contract. It is a contract. And if you're pitching yourself as a legitimate tour operator, just as I pitch myself as a legitimate motorcycle shop, if I fix your bike and you ride it away from me and get hurt on it, and it's something that I was either directly involved in, i.e. I just did the brakes and now the calipers fell off, and that has happened to somebody in this, a Misfit, not at my shop, but at another shop, or peripherally involved. Here's the thing legally. If a bike comes into me for a chain and sprocket, I'm working on the back end of the bike. That's all the guy wants. I only want the chain and sprocket done. Meanwhile, the front brake pads are worn out. And he leaves my shop, car pulls out of him, grabs the front brake, he wads up because the brake pads are worn out and he crashes. Whose fault is it? Mine. Because
It's just the way it is, right?
It is the way it is. When you paid that money, that is a contract, and it's largely to keep you safe. And there's a difference between challenging terrain and unsafe terrain. And I think there wasn't full disclosure. I go back to what I said. This is a group ride with an enthusiast and some of his mates, whether they were paying or not. And I think the fact that every single person who wasn't in that immediate group of mates crashed and crashed fairly hard is extremely telling on how that group was run. I'm sorry, but he's borderline negligent. Absolutely. I'm not even going to say borderline. I think he was negligent.
So I'm going to piggyback on that because, and you telling the story, the only thing that I heard that gave me some pause is that you said it was like 130 miles.
Yeah.
It was an arduous day.
Yes, definitely.
That people had to push to go on.
Yeah.
I can tell you from my own experience, because I'm learning as I go too, doing the Chickistan tours. And on our last tour, we had a day set up and talked with Moyne and said, I don't think we're going to be able to make that distance based upon how people are riding. And that day, he called ahead and booked like the only 2 hotels in the whole town.
Yeah.
And so we changed up. We so that we could ride less.
Yeah.
And then make up for it where we knew it was safer because we were doing a hard road. So that is something that, and talking about Emma, making sure you're safe. There are things that I think could have been done better. Having more communication about what to expect, but also on the Chickistan tour, if somebody is not up to riding, we let them get off and we have somebody who will hop on the bike and let them get in the truck.
But see, so there was nothing we could have done. This was 130 miles with nothing else, so you couldn't bypass. Well, I don't know if you could bypass, but there was no hotels, nothing where you could stop and make it into 2 days, let's say.
But if I could jump in, I'll support what Emma said. When you lay down that kind of cash, they should. You fall over, you're tired, you don't feel well, they pick you up in a truck, and if there's no hotel, hey, we got a great little tent we're going to set up and take care of things.
Where was the chase truck?
There was so that I knew from
it was
the
like
beginning
some
there was no
rancheria
chase
down the street, right?
That's the first issue.
But that's
see?
that I don't blame them because that was pretty obvious that there was no chase truck. It was basically just a group lead and a sweeper.
I
that was
disagree.
the extent.
But if
that
you
was
had
the
paid
extent of the
$500,
support.
that's
Exactly.
one thing. But you didn't pay $500. It's like,
Yeah, but I knew that, so I can't say. Look,
I keep going back to this. You were on a group ride. You were on a group ride that was sold to you as a tour, and it wasn't a tour.
Yeah,
It's a group ride. The guy may be the greatest rider in the world, but if he was actually in the tourism industry, they would boot him out and throw away the key.
And I'll bring it back again. It's an adventure tour, which means there's risk involved. We all sign up for it. Jim, there's a reason that you have your come rescue me button.
broken wrists. No, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And there's reasons that we take things with us on it because we know we're going to go take a risk.
But would
But-
you expect to take that on an
But-
organized tour?
But
I don't do organized tours anymore.
they did have a means to get a truck and to get you taken care of. I have heard of a tour before.
not to the ranch where we
Yeah.
spend the night.
Yeah.
After that was all my doing.
Yeah, well, yeah, but
so-
they did have means
But yeah,
to get you
yeah,
to
yeah,
where you
absolutely,
were staying.
yeah.
I have heard of a tour before that I know people who are on it that I heard it was hellish and that somebody on the tour crashed and had, I think, a compound fracture of the leg.
Ouch.
And they had no way to get them off of the mountain. And I believe the story I recall is that the girls on the ride took it upon themselves to help stabilize her and then getting her down and then somebody having to walk back up and then ride her bike down and then walk past their bike and then walk back up and get their bike and ride it past her bike. And they had to go to extreme measures because they had no truck or rescue or anything to get them. At least in this case, they had the number of somebody to call to get a truck out there.
No, absolutely.
So to me,
They did.
is responsible.
He did, not them.
Well,
No,
they
no,
did.
to
they
get to
got
the
the
ranch.
rancher. They got the rancher to come.
To that
To me,
one section to get to the
That
ranch.
is
Yeah.
a responsible
Yeah.
adventure ride. There is a risk, but there is a backup plan.
But I don't know if that was a backup plan or it just happened that they had the number of the ranch and the guys there had the truck. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So,
I mean,
But absolutely.
I can totally. I flip flop on this because I can see both sides. One time you shell out the cash, it should be a ride. You should be taken care of.
Right.
Turnkey. At the second time, you're fucking riding in Baja, Mexico. It's like rock and roll of the dirt bike world. It's going to get nutty and it's going to get hairy. Otherwise, it's just not fucking Baja. Yeah. So I can kind of. It's hard because I see both sides of it. But at the end of the
there's
day,
a way to experience that and keep it safe for the people. There should have been a chase truck. There should have been radio communication so that when you run out of Wi-Fi...
So, yeah, and it's probably a price tag to that. So I don't know how much it costs to do a tour in Mexico. It could be $500. It could be $10,000. I would imagine the more you pay, probably the better of an experience.
Well, I know
it'll
what Raymond paid,
So
and it wasn't cheap.
But
That to me sounds like an affordable tour
But
compared
maybe
to
it
others.
was cheap compared to what else is out there. Maybe if you shell
Yeah.
out $10,000, they'll fucking fly a helicopter out to you. You
So
know?
I was just at Jocelyn this morning, and there were a group of riders who were doing a trip to Baja coming up, I think, in a couple of weeks, a custom trip to Baja. And the guy has a chase truck with an extra bike that that is available.
And I'm guessing this tour is maybe twice as much.
No, it was only $500 more
Okay.
for the same amount of time. So I think the price was not outrageous, but it wasn't cheap either.
And I want to say there's another possibility of negligence here. I'm trying to find that line in the middle, but also I don't want to insult you, Raymond, because one of the responsibilities I think any good tour guide has, they have to assess the ability of the riders.
Yeah, absolutely.
And not let them get into something that they can't do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say you weren't capable. So you tell me, on a good day, would you have been capable? Do you think that they were negligent in not assessing that you weren't capable?
Well, there's no way for them to have assessed my skills.
Okay.
Well, first of all, they never asked. So from the get-go, they couldn't have had. So it was more up to me to do the assessment, I think. And in retrospect, there's no way I would have taken a GS on trails like this.
And hang on, Liza.
Never.
Every single rider on that tour who wasn't in the tour leader's immediate circle of friends crashed heavily. Every single one. And that tells me something.
I mean, what I'm hearing, because on my Chickistan tours, most of us crash. Some multiple times. Arlette crashed 4 times.
But with the greatest respect, there is a world of difference between crashing on an Atlas 125 and crashing Triumph 900s and GSs, which will fuck you up royally very quickly.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's true. We had three injuries.
He's the walking dead.
I'm going to correct you, Emma, because we did have one of our guides on the last tour did crash, and he hit a rock which punctured his abdomen. Luckily, on our tour, we had a cardiac surgeon, a veterinarian, and a first responder who took care of him. And these were just the people on the tour.
Oh, I like the one about the grinding away of the foot in the bridge as well.
Yeah, that was a good one.
But I'm saying that you can get hurt, but we know that we're taking a risk. And one of the things I do is I do try and assess the riders and their comfort level and to give them extra skills. In fact, I was talking to John about this today. On my Chickistan tour, and I'm recommending to him on the Stumpy tour, I can't believe we're using that name, that we're starting with a track day, not to race and be competitive, but to assess the rider skills and give them some extra tools.
Can I make the suggestion you put them on as a CT70 and pump the tires up to 100, pump the tires up to 100 psi, and then send them on the dirt?
So, Raymond, I don't know that there is a right or wrong answer here.
No, and I don't think there is. But the only point that I'm trying to make is that I've seen that happen not just once. Where, again, I talk about this pressure of these tour guides wanting to fill up their quotas of riders because, it's like this is how you make your money. Yeah. And so the pressure on them is sometimes to disregard a few things, whether it's clearing or understanding exactly what the guys that they're bringing, what their riding ability is, or whether it is explaining exactly what challenges you're going to be facing. And I think that's a mistake. I
agree with you. You simply can't do that because people get hurt.
Well, so let me give you another example of a previous tour. A long time ago, Continental Divide. This was a tour where you bought the GPS tracks. They were labeled green, blue, and red, green being the easiest. Except that the guy hadn't ridden these trails for 11 years.
Right.
Okay. And there was a guy on a GSA who had never been on the dirt before, who was told that you just ride the green trails because those are the easy trails. Well, those green trails after 11 years were now super difficult, and the guy kept crashing and ended up hurting his finger and had to leave the tour again.
Right.
So that's my point, is that don't put your customers' safety at risk just to be able to make a little bit more money. It's just not worth it.
So in hindsight, what questions would you have asked? Or next time you go, what questions would you ask of a potential tour operator?
And actually, I'm just going to add to that.
Sure.
And I'm going to say I agree in that well, who am I agreeing with? I'm going to make the point that I think it's the responsibility of the participant to do a little more research and ask the questions. There's going to be different price structures. What are you paying for? What are you getting? Mm-hmm. I kind of like the idea of having a cheaper strip down, take a little bit of risk, as long as you're aware of what you're doing. Yeah. And I also like the idea of having a cushy, nice tour. So you have to ask a question so you can now help everyone who may be interested in going on a tour. What questions should they ask?
Absolutely. So I did ask the questions of, which bike to take, which in my mind was enough, but I think in retrospect was not enough. But I would ask more detailed questions about the nature of the trails and how challenging they are. With the understanding that any trail, if it rains, is going to become 10 times more challenging. So you also have to understand that things change. And the tour operator has to understand the same thing. And they need to be able to advise you based on that, whether this is something that you can tackle or not. The other one is, what would you do in a case where I'm disabled and cannot ride my bike anymore? What are your plans? Right. Do you have any... Is there any medical? There was no medical. I was the one, me and another one of the new riders were the only two people with some sort of medical knowledge who had a medical kit. I don't think the operators had any medical kits with them.
Jeez.
Wow.
So that would definitely ask about that, because I learned later on that you can't actually be medevaced from Baja. They don't allow helicopters and planes to fly. And I have my Garmin InReach, and I had my search and rescue membership all up to date, assuming that, if I had to be medevaced, I would be medevaced. But it turns out that would not have been the case.
Oh, dang.
I didn't know that. That's good information right there.
Yeah. So luckily I didn't need to, and I was fine going with the tow truck up to the to the town and then getting back home. But crucially, I mean, of course, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place because you're feeling guilty because you're delaying everybody else. Right. So you don't want to make too big of a deal of your injuries, but at the same time, you also don't want to be left alone. Look, So
there's a very specific timeline, and it happens a lot within what I call niche industries like the motorcycle industry, and it applies as much as running a bike shop as doing what you were doing. And you play around with motorbikes and you love them and you think they're just great. And the years go on and you start touring in Baja and you think, God, this is the greatest thing. And then you start inviting your friends and you're having a really good time. And then you think, hey, I can make some money doing this. And what people don't realize is when that happens, everything should change.
Yeah.
Because the focus is when you are a tour guide, the focus stops from you having a good time to making sure your clients have a good time.
Yeah.
Being
and
a
safe time.
Good tour guide is a very selfless occupation. Yeah. And the harder you work, the better time your people are going to have. And the worst mistake, and it makes me blistering mad as an ex-tour guide, of what this guy did was, I'm not going to ride sweep, I'm going to ride my own ride and have a good time, and you people are pretty much on your own. And that was a huge mistake. He's not out there to have a good time. He's out there to make sure you all have a good time.
Yeah.
That's his job as a tour guide.
Well, especially given that, you said that they didn't do a pre-ride. So they hadn't been there in a year. So the desert changes all the time.
So one of the things that they mentioned was because like I said, after we got on the pickup truck to go to the ranch, the terrain was like nightmarish. I mean, just even from the truck, I was sweating, And so their point was like, oh, but we were here last year and it wasn't as bad.
Yeah, of course.
And I said, well, didn't you pre-ride it? They said, no, if we would pre-ride it, then it would cost more. It would add to the fee of the tour, which you guys don't want necessarily, or implied that we don't want.
Well, and that's it, making decisions for you. I am sure that if they'd have done a pre-ride and the tour was $3,400, you'd have still signed up.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, these are things you have to do.
So I just Googled Baja tours, right? So there's one on here. I'll mention the name. I don't think it matters. It's like Captain Baja Ultimate Off-Road. Mm-hmm. So the prices are in the ballpark. You know, you're talking about, Ray's talking about 35. You know, depending on how many days you're out there, right?
Yeah.
But scrolling through it, the one giant thing I noticed in the gallery looked nice, hotel, cool, blah blah blah. Everybody is on a proper dirt bike. Not one adventure bike in the group.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big deal. Trying to ride an adventure bike in the sand is utterly exhausting.
Yep.
I think maybe just like when you think about an adventure tour in Baja, it's like, man.
Well,
so I think that just to add to the question of what you would ask, in a situation like this. So I can manage a little bit of Spanish, but once we got to the ranch and I decided that it was time for me to bail out and I had to call the Mexican insurance that I had bought, it was a struggle to understand what they were telling me. And one of the guides was born in Mexico and spoke Spanish, but I had to constantly call him to come and help translate, where the expectation was that he should have been by my side the entire time until my issue got resolved.
Because that's his job. That's his bloody job. And I mean, it's absolutely outrageous, Raymond. And, I mean, I hate playing the what-if game. Because if you go down that road, however... What if there wasn't a Spanish-speaking person on that trip?
Exactly. So that was my point. What would you do?
There was no Wi-Fi at the ranch? Yeah. What if, when you came off the bike, instead of messing up your knee, you ended up with a compound fracture and had an artery gone?
Yeah.
And everyone's ahead of you. And you've got one guy with you who's probably panicking because he's seeing you losing blood. You know, you could have lost your leg.
You know, well, I'm back to this website again, and like they're saying, what happened? This is just their FAQ page, so who knows in real life. But what happens if I'm injured? They say there's clinics places, but Captain Baja carries a variety of emergency supplies on board their chase vehicles. Yeah. Staff is EFR spinal injury certified. Mm-hmm. So on this tour, it's about the same price range. You have a chase truck with people that might know something about, injuries. So it's interesting. I've never explored this before. This is a fascinating topic.
So, Raymond, I'm sorry that this tour sucked for you. But you've been on a lot of tours.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if you can just give a quick shout out to some of the great successful tours that you have been on that you'd like to give a good plug to.
Oh, absolutely. So it's okay to mention names. Mm-hmm. Okay.
This is a recommendation.
Right? Yeah. So like I said, I've done Baja many times. The first time I did it with Rawhide. Mm-hmm. And it was big bikes in Baja, so it was geared towards big bikes, and that was a fantastic tour.
How much deep sand did you do in that?
Not much.
Yeah, because on an adventure bike, it's just exhausting. Yeah.
No, there was some,
but it sounds super fun.
Yeah. No, it was a great tour.
Fun.
I loved that tour. We also went whale watching. We were two and we shared two people in a hotel, whereas with this latest tour, sometimes we were 3 to 4 people in a hotel room. So that was kind of also something that pissed me off a little bit. Then there was another company, West 38 Moto, with Dusty Wessels, and I've done Baja probably 3 times with him.
Oh, great.
Twice, once in the 690, once I even drove the chase truck for him. Yeah. So... And those were also fantastic tours. I did a tour of Patagonia in Chile with Moto Patagonia, and I rented one of their KLR 650s. We went on the Carretera Austral all the way down to the tip of Chile. That was fantastic. Cool. And the nice thing about this tour was he also incorporated a lot of fun activities. Like we went river rafting. We were supposed to catch a plane and fly over the glacier at the end. Couldn't do that because the weather was bad. But anyway... I did Colombia with Epicomoto, and that was an amazing trip too. Super well organized, 2 people who knew the terrain intimately, great accommodations. I mean, food was included. That was with Jocelyn, actually.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
What else did I do?
Well, I know. Let's talk about what you're going to do next year.
Okay. So next year I have a tour of Nepal.
Wow.
With Clean Drink Adventures. That's a fantastic company because what they do is combine adventure ridings with charity and volunteering.
Oh, nice.
So the idea is you go there and you distribute water filters because access to clean water in Nepal is difficult. So you basically ride, I think they're 350 Bullet
Royal
Enfields, you
yeah.
know. And you go to the villages, you take the water filters with you, you train
That's
them on
cool.
how to use them.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
You know, and there I think it's camping, but you do have a chase vehicle, and they set up the
All right,
tents
I'm out.
and the food.
You can bring a cot, Liza.
Liza don't count.
But you know what, Liza? Early on, you said, I wonder where Cat McLeod would be in this. And I can tell you, and I know exactly where Cat McLeod would be. When you hear Cat talk about his tours and you see his eyes light up, it's never about how good a time he had. He never talks about what a great time he had. He talks about what a great time his customers have. And that's why I know how he'd fall on this.
And he offers a high-end tour that is very much catering to the riders and their experience. Yeah. And it's not an adventure.
But it doesn't matter.
I think it does.
It doesn't matter what you put on it. When you are on a tour as opposed to a group ride, we're not talking about the level of hotel. We're not talking about the level of food. We're not talking about, the level of bike. What we're talking about is fundamental safety that was pretty much disregarded by the tour operator.
Yeah. And I've done, so there's another company that I like quite a bit, the Sierra Nevada Adventures, out of
we did, right?
Folsom.
Is that what we did?
Yeah, we did that.
And Mark.
No, we did the family adventure.
I think is it the same thing?
No, Sierra Nevada Adventure is Mark Girardi.
Yeah, that's different.
And he usually puts up a day rides, but he also has a bunch of multi-day rides. And they're very simple. They're like no chase trucks. You pay for your own hotel. You pay for your own food. He just plans the route and leads you, and there's a sweep. And I've done many of his rides, Moab, Mojave, Death Valley, a whole bunch of stuff, Colorado. And some of the terrain is challenging, but there I never felt, it wasn't international, so it's not necessarily fair to say that, but I never felt completely alone or isolated or, that I wasn't going to be able to be rescued because they're really, everybody sort of, all the riders kind of come in and help each other, so it's a give and take, I guess,
Oh, wait, you missed one. Where else are you going to go next year?
Pakistan.
Yeah!
Nice.
You actually fit the Stumpistan logo too, just like me.
Dude,
exactly.
You're going to love it.
I just worry that freaking 150 is going to collapse under me.
No. Yeah. But you know what? If it does, they have another one in the truck. And they got all the parts.
But I think it'd be fun to ride the small bike,
It is a lot of fun. I think you're going to have a great time. And there is an amount of danger element on these trips. In Pakistan, you just don't know what the road condition is going to be like. And Moyne likes adventure. I mean, cut to me going over a suspension bridge.
Oh, God. Never.
Oh, God.
Because I'm like, hey, I like the fact that we get to take risks there. No one tells you don't do that.
That's the fun.
Well, obviously mine is also connected, so he can sort of facilitate.
But he has also, on a trip where somebody broke their leg, he chartered an airplane to get them to a good hospital.
And I think that to me feels like the difference. And I mean, I know Moyne. I don't know the owner of this company, but from your description, it sounds like you felt that you were inconveniencing them, and that was the implication.
And that could have been me, but I know for sure, like the four. So, like I said, there were 10 riders, 6 who had either friends with the team lead or had ridden with him extensively before, and 4 who were kind of newcomers. And the 4 newcomers one, we were all talking after I crashed that, this is not what we had in mind, that we were not having fun, that this was sort of not okay.
And I think that's very, very telling.
So definitely, let me just say, get insurance, get Medivac insurance, whatever you can. Always make sure you have all of these things done before you go on any of these trips.
Good to know.
Yeah.
And so I just want to add, so John, your Stumpy trip is when exactly?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so it's May 31st if you want the whole...
This May?
Yes.
Oh,
coming.
crap.
May coming.
This is when I'm going to be in Nepal, but hopefully we'll be able to work around it.
So May 31st through June 18th.
Oh, no, that will work.
Well, if you're already going to be in that part of the world.
Yeah.
You might as well just zip on down.
Totally. And my trip, finally, it's locked down. The website has been updated. So I want to give the plug. adifferentagenda.com is where you can go sign up, get all the info. My trip is going to be September 10th to 25th. And it's similar. We're doing some different stuff, but one of the things that we've added to this trip that I'm so stoked
Is it food?
for,
Is it food related?
No. Is that we are going to go visit Shimshal Valley.
What is that?
On my trip, you have to go up a mountain on a road that was only built 5 years ago. When I say road, I showed some of the people here. It's like carved out of a hillside, gravel, and it's not a road. I mean, it's not. It's like a Jeep
goat
track.
path. Yeah.
It's the one you see online where if you fall off the edge, you go like 1,000 feet into a river.
Yeah.
It was the path they walked for centuries, and they finally carved it and made it big enough for a Jeep to go on. But it's a sheer drop off with no guardrail, and you're riding on the edge of a cliff up a mountain into a valley that very few people have ever visited.
Cool.
So
Did
I'm
you do
like
the Karakoram Highway?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
of
see
course.
that you have to do that.
Yeah, you will go on the Karakoram up to China.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, go to adifferentagenda.com if you'd like to sign up for either of our trips. I'm not naming names, but I got some pretty cool people who've already signed up for my trip.
You're making a list and checking it twice?
And it's going to fill up fast as more and more people find out who they know who's already signed up. So I would recommend getting in and making a reservation on that. I have another announcement. I'm going to start it by reading an email.
Oh.
Hey, Liza. This is from Alfredo.
Alfredo Sauce.
He says, I'm down for the Numb Nuts Challenge.
Yeehaw.
Please let me know the dates and rules if I'm accepted. By the way, just got back from the Dirtbag Challenge, and it was really fucked up this year. Yeah, because he didn't have any guests. It was just people built their bikes and went and did a ride. It was it wasn't really a party or anything. So he says, so I'm ready for more abuse. And I got another one from Sam.
Hey, Sam.
Who says, first off, I think it should be called the Titanium Taint Challenge.
Oh, that's a good one.
And I am interested in suffering through and winning the challenge. I'll kick Bagel's numb butt.
Ooh, dude. The gauntlet
Bagel.
has been,
Bagel's
the
gonna do
merkin
it
has
from
been
Oregon?
thrown down.
And Sam says, so glad I got to hang out with y'all after the Laguna vintage races.
Yes.
Nice.
So we've already got a couple people who want to do the Numb Nuts Challenge. Have I talked you into it?
You have talked me into it.
Including Emma's burlesque show.
So it's
Yes.
shaping up.
with
It's
chocolate.
shaping up. So we haven't set a date. I'm going to create I think I'm going to create a Facebook event page so people can sign up. And so here's what I've decided for the Numb Nuts Challenge. I think we're going to try and do it in January, but I know we're going to aim Expo.
Yes,
Vegas,
in
baby.
Vegas. So January, February, around there. It's going
When
to
it's
be
raining.
held at Mototown.
It's going to be handled at Mototown in Marina, California, USA. And listen, guys, I'm very close to the ocean. And if you don't know about Monterey Bay, it's very deep. And man, when that wind comes off the Monterey Bay at night, God, it's cold.
Here comes the fog.
The fog rolls in and the temperature will drop 20 degrees in a minute. So my advice is if you're planning on doing the Numb Nuts or Titanium Taint Challenge, start pounding on the pounds by eating cheeseburgers right now. Get yourself nice and chunky.
I have a top tip.
Yes.
Ride a dirt bike for 4 days and then get into your normal motorcycle seat.
Anything feels comfortable.
I rode the Africa Twin. That's why I was late. It was so beautiful out tonight. My God. So I just went up to the mountains and I couldn't stop. But I popped on that Corbin seat after 4 days of dirt biking and I'm like, I could go to sleep in this thing.
So just a reminder, if you don't know what the Numb Nuts Challenge is, we're going to be holding a challenge to see who can last the longest sitting on their motorcycle or scooter that is parked either on a side stand, a center stand, or pit bull, any just whatever stands. And I think we can have 10 entrants.
I think 10 would be about right.
And I am one of them. So 9 others. Then we have Sam and Alfredo and Raymond. So there's not many spots left.
Well, Matt Beals is talking
Matt
about
wants to do it
showing
too.
you how. You know.
So
it's an outside event. It is. And I want to stress this. Even though Mototown is inside,
you want heated gear.
I will be inside Mototown taunting you, sitting next to my heater, eating gourmet food.
So we're going to be lined up parked in the parking lot outside of Emma's shop, and $1,000 cash prize for whoever can stay on their bike the longest. You will have food and drinks brought to you, just like pizza or hot dogs, whatever. We're going to have, I think, a grill going there.
Yeah.
You cannot touch the ground except for the allotted bathroom breaks. And
we're going to time you with your bathroom break, so there's no point in saying, "Ooh, I've got to go for a poo," and then disappearing for 10 minutes and having a quick wank in there. There's none of that nonsense. None of that. You get timed.
Your quick wank must be on the bike. The other rules is that you must wear.
It's a way to pass the time, isn't it?
You must wear helmet and boots.
It's not much time to pass, though.
At all times.
Yes.
Whatever else you're wearing is up to you.
I mean, if you want to do it naked, that's fine, but helmet and boots.
Helmet and boots at all times.
What if my boots were Crocs?
Even when you're using the bathroom or eating, the helmet stays on the whole time. You must always either have feet on the pegs or boards or a butt in the seat, which means you can stand up on the pegs or boards, or you can put your feet up on the bars as long as you're butt in the seat, but you cannot stand up on the seat or, you always must have a butt on the seat. Yes,
you can't sit on your foot pegs.
Yes, you cannot. Oh, gosh.
Can you take your helmet off when you go to the bathroom?
No.
Helmet on at all times. Also, you cannot have anything brought to you that you did not have packed on your bike. For instance, if it starts to rain, you cannot have someone bring you an umbrella or a raincoat. So you have to have these things packed on your bike, and they can only be packed on standard motorcycle luggage. So you can't, for instance, strap a 4x8 sheet of plywood to your bike and then set it up as and put a bed. No. Standard. So if you want to bring battery packs, if you want to bring granola bars, if you want to bring a book, if you want to bring a blanket, you can do all of that as long as they're packed in standard
and a poo bucket
gear.
I suggest this because I don't think I'm going to do it because it sounds insane. But if you could score a pair of virtual reality goggles, put them over your helmet, and you can actually ride the greatest roads in the world while you're on your motorcycle.
And as it progresses,
or watch.
But entertainment will be provided.
Yeah, there will be provided. There is a good chance you might see Emma's tits. I'm just going to say.
All 3 of them?
Yeah, all 3 of them.
And there will be incentives and challenges along the way.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my.
All I'm going to say at this stage is there are going to be additional prizes, big and small.
Is that what you're calling it? Here comes your prize.
Valuable prizes.
Oh, well, yeah.
Valuable prizes in addition to the $1,000. Also, there will be hindrances. So we're going to make it.
For instance,
you're going to earn that $1,000.
A challenge might be for the next 20 minutes, everyone needs to stand on their pegs.
Okay.
That's it. And so, just giving you examples. These are all things that you would normally do on your.
Now, Liza, knowing bike. You're not going to be able to pull out random challenges out of your butt.
No, this is all
because you're a participant. So,
well, here's the thing: as a participant, I am going to participate in any challenge, and I don't get to win anything. I just get to keep my money if I win.
Exactly. So, and can I tell somebody an incentive?
No, you cannot.
Oh, okay. So the incentives are going to be, but they're going to be good.
You cannot say anything about incentives.
Is it going to be pie?
So if my GS is not totaled, I'm more than happy to
use
it for that.
No, it's a perfect use for a total GS.
That's true.
So if you're interested in participating in this sometime in January, February, again, I'll create the date. But if you want to be included, send us an email at recyclemotorcyclegarage@gmail.com.
So, Bagel, are you coming down for this on a scooter or what?
Are you still going to be using the garden hose?
That might be.
You mean to spank us?
No, we're going to be using the poo bucket.
Well, if everyone's wearing their motorcycle gear,
you didn't say anything about motorcycle gear.
No, you didn't.
Be in underwear and boots and helmet.
I said boots and helmet, but if you have motorcycle gear to put on,
You can wear as much as you want.
As much or as little,
a little bit of sprinkle shouldn't be a problem, should it, Bagel? I didn't say anything. I wouldn't spray people in the face, but if you're spraying, creating rain,
However,
that's all. I'm just saying.
Just want some rainbows.
Mike came up with a valid question. Can he do this from a motorcycle sitting in the back of his truck? No.
But it can be a non-running motorcycle.
It doesn't have to be a running motorcycle, but the motorcycle is going to be on the concrete pad outside Mototown where I can get to you with the rotten tomatoes.
Okay, so there you go. That's the non
Euro
challenge.
sidecar. That's
Jim,
what
will
I'm
you be
doing.
participating in this or what?
I will participate in some fashion to be sure. What role it remains to be seen.
Hey, guess what, guys?
You can help me do the burlesque
Game time.
show.
It's game
That is
Tell me
in my
it's game
wheelhouse.
time.
I'm a pretty good stripper, too.
It's game time. Oh,
Uh-oh.
yeah. I've got it.
Don't need a theme song.
And as you know, when we do the games,
I can
like
see
to
your screen, by the way.
I like to make it fair, fair games, fair teams. So I split everyone up, and so it's going to be everyone against Emma to make it fair.
And it's still not fair. Yeah. It's
How is this fair? This isn't right.
I guess it depends on the game.
No, it's not.
All right.
We're
So
outmatched.
in this game, this is called "What's That Bike?"
Oh, God.
It's easy. What's that bike?
What's that smell?
It was Little's breath after the
Chocolate.
kitty Roka that dog ate.
I swear that dog has the worst breath imaginable.
she loves to give kisses.
Oh, God.
Oh.
So in this game, I'm going to read the specs and description of a bike, and you guys have to guess what it is.
Now, how do we get it? We just blurt it out
You
whenever we
just
figure
shout
it
it
out?
out.
All right.
Okay,
Shout
but
it out.
I'm not feeling very well.
All right. So this is an 847 cubic centimeter bike. It is an inline 3
It is a Yamaha XS750.
4-stroke,
It is a Triumph.
115 horsepower.
How many?
That's a Triumph ST.
It is, let's see, 2 valves per cylinder. It's injection. Fuel system is injection.
There goes my Kawasaki Mach.
Double overhead cams.
It's injected?
Ignition system, TCI. Transistor controlled ignition. Liquid cooling.
It's Triumph Trident.
It's got to be a Triumph.
6-speed.
Yeah.
Chain drive. With an aluminum twin spar frame.
Speed triple.
Let's see. Front suspension, 41 millimeter forks. Rear suspension, single shock adjustable preload and
Yes.
rebound damping.
Yes.
Yeah, what about the Yamaha XSR?
Front brakes, double disc ABS hydraulic. Rear brakes, single disc hydraulic. This year that I am looking at here is a 2015. It's labeled as a naked bike. You guys suck at this game.
What is
It's
this?
not the
Speed
Yamaha XSR 900.
No.
That's not a
Okay.
triple.
It's not
Is
the
it?
Triumph Speed triple.
Yeah.
Oh, it is triple.
No,
Yeah.
it's
No,
not.
it can't because it's
And in
Speed
this
Triple
year-
has got 4 valves per cylinder.
In this year, 2015, it came in matte gray and candy red.
KZ 900.
No.
No, that's an inline 4.
No. All right. I'm just going to read you the full description here. 847cc liquid cooled inline 3-cylinder DOHC 12 valve cross plane crankshaft concept.
Stop you there. So it's not a 2 valve, it's a 4 valve.
And then, well, it said, I'm just reading you, valves per cylinder 2. And then up here it says DOHC 12 valve cross plane crankshaft.
No, you can't have 2 valve for cylinders and then 12 valves.
I'm just reading it.
Okay,
derived from the award-winning and media favorite FZ09.
So it's an MT09 XSR.
This engine combines advanced high-tech components. Blah 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 blah. You guys suck at this.
All right, what is it?
It's the FJ09.
Oh.
You guys really suck.
That might be my next bike. Actually, how do you like that bike? Does that
No.
I
I tell you what,
might be my next commuter.
There's been a couple come in which have got like stupidly high mileage on them, and I have to say they feel very baggy, but they don't half go well.
Does the luggage, is that osculator?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well,
Next
no,
one.
we're
You guys
going to
suck
do
at
better
this.
this time.
I'm hoping
No,
our
honestly,
listeners are
I'll
getting
try.
it.
I'm going to try better.
Okay, this next one was introduced by Honda to the United States market in 1986.
Oh no.
EB500.
It was so successful that as of 2009, it was still in production in Japan.
Oh no.
VFR 750?
Let's see, it is a
VFR 1100?
Let's see, suspension, the front, trailing link fork, rear swing arm, engine 244cc liquid cooled SOHC single. Transmission.
Oh,
Not the Nighthawk.
No,
The
it's
Helix?
Transmission V-matic continuously variable
Yeah,
transmission.
Honda Helix.
no, it's not the Helix. It's the
The Elite 250.
The CH250.
I think Bagel got that one.
The
Elite 250.
You're going Bagel.
Yeah, it's the Elite 250.
Thank you, Bagel.
jumped
Oh,
in.
the Elite.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to say Bagel.
Yes, Bagel one.
So, team 2. Emma's 1. Okay.
Yes, very good.
All right. You're getting it. All right. Let's go with, this one. Okay.
Yes.
All right. This one.
Yes.
Manufactured since 1999.
Oh dear.
Features a mid-sized V-twin engine.
SV650?
That's correct.
Oh, wow. That was prescient.
Let's see. That's team 2. Oh, Emma, they're winning.
That's okay.
All right. Let's go with this one. Oh, yes. I like this one. Let's see. This bike. Let's see. Engine. 4-stroke parallel twin cylinder DOHC 4 valves per cylinder.
Okay, very good.
798 cc. Compression ratio 12:0:1. Cooling liquid cooled. Induction. Electric intake injection with 45 millimeter throttle bodies. Ignition knock control and a oxygen sensors.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's wait a minute. Is it an R80 GS?
Its transmission is 6-speed.
Yes.
Final drive is chain.
Oh. Oh no, it still could be a BMW.
Frame.
So
Tubular
F800?
frame. That is correct.
Okay.
Damn.
What was it?
I'm on fire!
F800 GS.
Ah, nice.
Very good.
Nice. All right. Emma, they're
Emma.
killing you.
What's going on?
I'm not well.
I know. All right. Emma.
Yes, darling.
All right. So this one was made from 1999 to 2017.
Okay.
Let's see. It's double overhead camshaft and liquid cooling.
Yes.
Were the first. This bike was the first for this brand to have the double overhead camshaft and liquid cooling.
For that brand or for that model?
That brand. This was the first bike of this brand to have that.
Yes.
Engine is 1,131 cc's. Also known as a 69 cubic inch.
Is that the 12?
GS 1150?
It then became a 1,247 cc.
That's the big Kawasaki, the ZX, right? Whatever the big one was.
Top speed, somewhere between 137 to 144 miles per hour.
That's too slow to be the Kawasaki.
Yeah.
Power, 115, 125 horsepower. 84 pounds.
It's not like
KTM. It's KTM.
Transmission is a
1290.
5-speed belt drive.
Harley.
It's got
It's a twin can A. No, that's gone.
3.2 gallon gas tank. Let's see. Its engine
yes,
was based on the VR 1000
right.
race bike, my up the butt bike.
V-Rod.
That's correct.
Rod.
Nice.
Team 2.
Wow. I was trying to give you a gimme, Emma.
That's okay.
I thought you'd get that one. Okay.
Now I'm
All
starting
right.
to feel bad for Emma.
All right, this next one.
That's not something you should
She's
ever
just
do.
letting us. She's just letting us win. That's what.
Production 1989 to 2012.
Yes,
Good run.
yes.
Assembled in Japan 1988 to 2003, and
That's got to be the Rebel.
from 2004 to 2013 assembled in Spain.
Oh shit! That's a
And then-
GZ250,
And then
GS500.
the final, yes, there you go.
What was it?
The final year assembled in Colombia.
Yeah, that's
Really?
a GS500. They
In
built.
Colombia.
Suzuki,
They
GS500.
built
There
a
we go.
factory especially for the GS500 in Santander.
Emma, team
Huh.
one.
Interesting.
Okay.
For 1 year.
What? Well, no. I mean, it was about a 4 year, and they built GZs and DR200s
Okay.
there as well.
Okay. This next one has been in continuous production since its 1948 introduction.
Sportster.
48
1948 to present.
bullet.
Assembled in Italy and India.
Italy and India.
The Vespa.
Lambretta.
Let's see. Currently, 2 model ranges are offered. One with a 49.8 cc petrol engine, and the other one which comes with a 218 cc petrol engine or a 422 diesel engine.
Oh.
Come on, guys.
Diesel.
There was also a special variant from 1993 to 2005 that had 4 wheels. Because I didn't mention that this one has 3 wheels.
Piaggio. No.
Piaggio Ape?
There you go. Bagel.
Ah!
Well done, Bagel.
Wow.
Four-wheel Ape.
Yeah, called the Ape Poker. 4-wheel version of the Ape TM with the same name.
A poker.
Poker. I didn't even
That's
know.
one for one for Uncle Phil's anal game.
God
know.
almighty.
You think the poker would be shaft driven?
Okay. All right. I got another one.
Yes.
All right. This one has been in production since 2008. And in 2009, it came out with a special R edition. Single cylinder, 4-stroke, 654 cc. Did we say,
is that the Jim's bike? Is it the?
is it Cahan?
Yeah.
Cahan? Cahan EMS with electric power throttle, pressure lubrication with 2 Eaton pumps.
Yes. What CC is this?
It's
450, right?
654 cc 4-stroke. 6 gears, dog clutch engagement, APTC slipper clutch hydraulically operated. Comes with Brembo floating Brembo brakes, Brembo piston brakes, a floating caliper,
XR 650.
spoked wheels with aluminum rims.
Aluminium rims.
Let's see. Let's see. It's although the displacement is labeled as something different. It is actually a 654cc. And then they discontinued the E model and came out with the R model. Made some changes to the headlight.
Is that a DR650?
And I'm just going to have to make it easier. It's a dual sport. You guys, really?
XL650?
And it's easily noticed by the orange frame.
Well,
So it's like KTM. Which one? 690?
690 Rally. Enduro R.
Duke?
What?
The spoked wheels. Yeah, Enduro R.
Enduro R.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Oh, you own one?
Yeah,
I know. There's one in the garage here, and he owns one. All right, we got one more because you guys are sucking at this game.
Good, I'm glad.
You guys are sucking.
I don't know if you blame us or blame the game creator. I don't know.
All right.
It's tour guide's fault.
This bike won the Motorcycle USA Motorcycle of the Year prize in 2014. So it's been in production from 2014 to present. Its class is standard. It is assembled in Thailand.
As so many are.
MT-09?
Its engine is a 124.9cc air-cooled 4-stroke single with a top speed of 55 to 73 miles per hour.
Is that a Grom?
So it's a Grom, yeah.
It is a Grom.
That's what I was going to say.
Oh.
Yeah, it comes with either 4-speed manual or 5-speed manual.
How fast do they say a Grom
Atlas
goes?
Honda.
55 to 73 miles per hour.
No way. 55 is everything on a Grom.
Yeah.
It's absolute.
Well, downhill.
If anybody thinks they could get 73 out of a Grom, please write to Cleveland Motor.
Well, maybe not a stock Grom.
John, did you mention that maybe Phil doesn't appreciate the emails he's been getting?
I know. They were talking a load of shit on this last podcast. Gosh. So yeah, they, and I honestly think everyone should continue sending emails to phil@clevelandmoto.com because he told me that he is enjoying getting your emails from us that are basically touting how wonderful the Motorcycle and Misfits podcast and how many glaring mistakes that are coming out of the Cleveland Moto podcast. So
no, I only want him to receive complaints about us.
Oh, he's getting them. But
I wanted him to enjoy that. That was my gift to him. So if you do have a complaint, send it to phil@clevelandmoto@gmail.com. I wanted to get real quickly back onto tours. So, Raymond, you said that you've been on a bunch of tours. You're about to go on some tours. I want to know from everyone here in the room, including Raymond, everyone, what is one place, and Bagel, who's not in the room, one place you would like to go on a tour of? What it would be on your motorcycle tour wish list?
Africa.
Oh, okay. That's a whole continent.
Yeah, but that's the idea. Going from Egypt down to South Africa.
You want to go for it.
Yeah.
I'm going to say the ones that kind of piquing my interest. I've heard both Thailand and Vietnam are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And good food, too.
I hear those places
Live to
are
ride,
amazing.
live to ride, ride to eat. I keep it all the way to the end.
I know people that travel that part of the world, and it looks just fabulous.
Yeah.
The food, the
I
people,
think
everything.
I'd lean on Vietnam because I think that's maybe less tourists. I'm not sure, but I've heard of people doing great, fun motorcycle adventures there. I mean, and you're going to a country that is built for motorcycles. They're everywhere.
Yeah. And small ones, too. So.
John, other than upcoming Pakistan, where's someplace you would like to go?
It's hard because I haven't never ridden Europe, but I'm going to take that off the table because that's an obvious one. But I think I do like the idea of Southeast Asia, and I would also probably like to do India.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Bagel, I know you've done a bunch of tours. Where's someplace you like to go do?
Well,
Please say Antarctica.
the thought has crossed my mind.
Because that's exactly what I'd expect from
Another
you.
record.
The thought has crossed my mind. I don't know if there's any way that would be possible, but
It is possible. Do you
I don't
not
know.
remember Steph Jevons, one of our guests?
I remember.
She rode all the continents, and there's a great video in the currently playing Rev Sisters Moto Film Festival, the South Jersey Moto Film Festival, which is tickets are free. Go to revsisters.com. And Steph Jevons has one of her little shorts that she created of her putting her bike onto a boat and taking it to Antarctica and riding it around in the snow there. So that was a quick little plug. So you could do that.
Well, that's always, I suppose that's a possibility.
Yeah.
But I would like to tour Europe, but I want to do it on my bike and I want to ride there.
That might be a problem.
You're gonna go circles in the plane, like
buoys on the.
Well, you put it on the plane and then you keep riding from there, like you do. But with my bike, so maybe in a couple of years we'll see how things go. I really do want to reprise my idea to ship my bike to Hawaii and make Hawaii my 50th state. And if all goes well, maybe this year is the year to do it. Coming up, we'll see.
Emma, where's someplace exotic you want to go?
Japan.
Oh, that would be great.
The motherland for so many people.
Oh, heck yeah. But the thing is with Japan, and I've heard this many, many times, it is such a different culture. Mm-hmm. You would have to do it with a guide.
Oh, yeah.
I would genuinely be absolutely terrified of finding myself in the middle of Japan alone.
Danielle Lynn is in Japan at the moment.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, I've been following Instagram. She's been there for about, I don't know, a while.
Right.
Yeah, I love she's great to follow. But I have another friend that went there solo, not speaking Japanese. Worst 2 weeks of her entire life.
I can imagine. Because, I mean, it's just so alien, but that's why...
And not being there, but Tokyo versus the countryside, right?
And you can
I've never been there, but...
You can end up eating street octopus. You don't know. So...
Well, because you pick it up off the street.
Street pussies never
Jim, did you already say where you want to go? Where do you want to go?
I'll say two things because I can, but I'll echo Emma's comment. I would love to ride around Japan, and we do have some podcast friends there that I think would be a treat. So Japan is very intriguing to me, the countryside especially. But I would love to ride around America. I could ride around this country for like a year nonstop. It is.
Well, we got everything.
That's exactly what Danielle Lynn did.
Yeah, I love this country. Yeah. It's beautiful. I would try to do some sort of my own combination of the Transamerica Trail / BDR / other stuff.
Continental Divide.
I just want to do.
Yeah.
So I'd like to do America.
You know what, Emma, what boat I missed, and it actually did include a boat. There was a time, I think it was in the 90s, that you could buy a Harley Davidson here.
Right.
Ship it to Europe, go ride around for a couple weeks, and sell it and pay for your entire trip.
Wow.
Interesting. Yeah.
There was a time there was such high demand over there.
That. Right.
I'm wondering if there's any opportunities like that now for anything. But then I've also heard that you could go over to like Germany, buy a BMW and bring it back and save so much and pay for your trip.
That's been around for years.
No, but I think they've stopped it now.
Yeah, and travel itself is not what it used to be. Mm-hmm. I think we've passed what we'd call the golden age of travel, when you can just go around whenever you want. But if you pick up any copy of Time magazine or Life magazine from the early 60s, there's always ads of fly to Germany, pick up your brand new Mercedes-Benz, drive it around Germany, put it on the freighter, and blah, blah, blah. So, this was nothing new, but I think the days of just traveling around freely are... I'm not saying over, but they're changing, and they're changing quite quickly.
Yeah, and everything's probably on pause anyway.
Sailed to Monster Island to go fight King Kong.
You know what? I want to know, because, there has to be places where that opportunity still exists. It's really hard to bring bikes from other countries in here if they're not made for U.S. or especially. But there's the opportunity to take bikes here to places, and there are people with money. To Pakistan, if you can... Getting a BMW GS, like I've met people there who ride them, it costs twice the amount. The fees and everything you pay, it doubles the cost. So a BMW that's $24,000, it's going to cost them $48,000 there. But there are people who have the money.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious if anyone else listening knows of any of these opportunities or places that you could do that. And I remember the thing with the Harley. You could through. I think there were. It was kind of the internet was still brand new. There were ways to put the word out and actually pre-sell the bike and go ride around for 2 weeks and just deliver it.
Yeah.
There were networks to do that, and I always thought about doing it. But you actually put it on a ship is how you get it there.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you know of these kind of opportunities, it'd be really cool to know and share. But I wonder if they don't exist anymore.
Well, Air Canada had a program where they would fly your bike, and it wasn't very expensive.
Right.
So you could fly to Europe with your bike.
Yep, that's what I was thinking about doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I want to get to some emails because we have a bunch. And this first one I'm going to read because it's controversial, as Emma would say. It's controversial.
Stir in the pot.
Well, but in all fairness, I'm going to read it because I want to get everyone's opinion here. And this is from Carlos.
Hello, Carlos.
And he says...
That's controversial, Carlos, to his friends.
Says, I just got the latest AMA magazine.
Yeah.
I read their article, Helmet Laws and the AMA, on page 12.
Yes.
He says, this article perfectly illustrates why the AMA is terrible and why I'm very happy I will not be renewing my membership.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
The AMA and ABATE are so incredibly similar to the NRA in mindset, meaning they're out of touch and extremely self-centered with little regard to public interest or needs, and in catering to a certain audience, which is primarily middle-aged white men. I don't really have an answer to this, and I didn't read that article. Did you?
I don't know, but I want to say the last one or the one before it came out, it was chock full of women motorcyclists.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, chock full of women motorcyclists.
But I will say, in having interviewed Rob Dingman a couple times, president of the AMA, we have asked him questions that we couldn't ask him on the air. Like, why aren't you doing this? Or why aren't you supporting this? Or why do you allow this? And it all came down to politics and losing members. It depends on what the majority of the people want in the states and in the government. Like, why isn't there more helmet laws? Why aren't they just pushing to get helmet laws everywhere? And he says, because most riders don't want it, and we would lose most of our members. So it may be something like that, you know, or like, why aren't you doing more to get more lane splitting? I don't understand why that isn't happening.
Like, that would be good legislation for them to
But
take
there's
on, 'cause that's
politics
safety.
involved. Because I said, how about if you may make the deal like, hey, can we get lane splitting legalized if we put a helmet law in place? And he's like, no, you get into the politics and dealing with people and it gets nasty. And it's a thing, you can't please all the people. So you have to please the majority of people while you're still trying to serve the people. But not everyone has the same interest. It's a really hard line to follow.
What's the beef with the AMA? Is it just that it caters to white middle-aged guys, or is there a bigger beef?
Well, specifically the helmet laws and the AMA, which I have to read.
Okay.
I can only assume it's because there's politics and they don't push hard where I think they should push hard. And he's told me because they can't, because they will lose more members.
The inevitability whenever you're in a larger group, a group of anything, sometimes you just have to look at the larger picture. If I was to say I agreed with every policy the AMA puts out, I'd be lying through my teeth, because I don't. And I mean, I look at some of the decisions they support, and I'm like, dear God, these ramblings of a lunatic. But when I look at the overall picture, I find enough to agree with that warrants my membership. And that applies not just to the AMA, to everything.
And I know we're just going off an email, but also don't judge it just by their magazine. I mean, I was looking at the District 36 calendar today, and if you look at the amateur motorcycle racing that the AMA supports, it's vast.
Well,
I mean, they support a lot of stuff that's not in the magazine.
I'll tell you, my stance is, if you don't support what they're doing for you in your area, then don't support them. Because I know of racers who have big beefs, because the AMA is a governing body of races, and there are some decisions about qualifications or stuff like that they've had to make that doesn't benefit certain people, then don't support them. I'm okay with that. Point being that there's so much, they deal with so much controversy, legislation, politics, that they can't serve everybody. So there's always going to be somebody who's not served. So I have no problem with those people showing their distaste and not supporting him. I personally support him, and I do encourage others to support him because I feel it does benefit me, and the more support they get, the more they can do. Is how I feel.
But I think Carlos is entirely justified in his point of view as well. You know, that's the beauty of democracy.
Yeah. I agree.
You get to say what you feel without some degree of repercussion. But all I would say to Carlos is just look at the bigger picture, and if you find there's more you disagree with than you agree with, then it's clear.
But I would also say that I think it is time for the AMA to do specific outreach and development around people of color riders. And you know, that they've done a better job really with Liza and some other people's leadership around women. But I think, you know, after going to Vintage Motorcycle Days, it is a bunch of middle-aged white guys that look a lot like me. And I would love to see a movement of people of color to ride other than Harleys. I mean, Booster Bros and Harley guys.
As building on what Emma said, to me, the bigger picture is the AMA is the voice of riders in America.
Yeah, and it's the only voice.
It's the only organized voice.
And I want to support that voice because through all sorts of things, like, you know, there's all sorts of emission stuff, and they target motorcyclists often.
Yeah.
So the AMA is there fighting and helping to get land use for dirt biking, to all these things. Yeah. They are fighting. They're not winning all the battles.
Right.
Well, you know, thank goodness, you know, and we cuss them all the time, but quads and 4x4s, but you know, the side-by-side community has gotten huge. And you know what? Thank God, because the motorcycle community just doesn't have the support legislatively, and you'll get public lands closed. But like when I go out to BLM land and I see these side-by-side people, you know, they're going kind of crazy, having a good time. Now I'm glad to see them, because the more people that are out there accessing, enjoying the public lands, the better. If it was just motorcyclists, for whatever reason, we don't really stand a chance. So I was glad to see a lot of the side-by-side people out there.
To Emma's point, I'd say also that, you know, I'm part of a couple of national associations as part of my day job. And the biggest thing, if you want change, get involved and start to get to know who the decision makers are and who the policy people are. And, you know, I found that, you know, it's a very small staff for AMA, and I've found that getting involved with national associations and knowing people and starting to push for what I care about, actually, you can move a cruise ship that way.
That's a good point. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. All right. We need to keep rolling. Bagel, I sent one to you. Do you have that ready?
I do.
All right. Go ahead.
Hey, Misfits from Gavin, Bolton, UK. If you don't want to do an accent, don't do posh or cockney, please. Bolton has a terrible accent all of its own.
So you're going with Irish?
I'm trying. I didn't say I was going to do it well. I'm going to butcher this one.
You're doing great, Bagel. It's like you're fucking there, mate. It's like you're there.
Good on ya, mate.
Look up Fred Dibner if you want a reference.
Oh, God, yeah, good old.
Just been catching up in the last few episodes, and I like the games you've been playing. So I thought I'd add my 10 cents for the game where you guess a bike that Emma hasn't worked on.
10 pence.
Oh, he's got a guess. All right,
go on.
I'd like to put forward a Kagiva Super City 50cc, not the 125 that were more common, and a Kagiva Mito doesn't count even though it had the same motor.
So, all right, hold on. So let's answer that. Emma, have you worked on a Kagiva Super City 50cc?
No.
Oh, good one.
Well,
good
no,
one, Gavin.
I think in my defense, I think they were invented after I came to America.
Oh, okay.
I'm not likely to have them out here. Kagiva's quite an interesting brand. They were branched out of Aermacchi.
Yeah.
Oh,
and bought. Basically, they were brought under the Ducati umbrella. By none other than Alejandro De Tomaso. And sort of Kagiva motorcycle brand went off and became Ducati. And then Kagiva kind of scooter brand stayed Kagiva. But they've got this very cute little elephant as a mascot.
And
Yeah.
Bagel, as you continue on, I just want to say that the next is about last week's porn pick challenge.
Oh,
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
So continuing. On from the last episode, I think the Yam DT should have won, as it's a brilliant little classic.
Yeah.
And my first bike was a DT50, and the parts are not a problem, as I fixed mine with the bearings from a hot point washing machine for my crank bearings, and a bit of Hoover pipe off the Henry for my exhaust downpipe.
perfect.
You were talking about fears on the Halloween episode, and got me thinking about it. I emailed you some years back and told you I had a crash I had coming back from a rally in both Wales in Wales, where I fucked up my ribs and my dad's 80s Super 10. Oops. Well, I go on that rally every year, and this year was the first year I went the same way to get there, just to face the place I went down. And I must say it felt empowering, and it returned some confidence that until then I didn't realize I had lost. I think facing that place really helped.
I agree.
Still loving the podcast, so keep them coming, Gav.
Oh, cheers,
That
guys.
was great.
But I mean, what's the saying? One must always get back on the horse.
Yeah. So
You
I
know,
guess I have to
that's-
go back to Baja then.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
Yes.
so.
Unfortunately, that's in your future. Sorry, Raymond,
All
but
right,
it's
John,
got to be done.
what you got?
All right. This is from Adam.
Hey, Adam.
How's Eve doing? Sup, Misfits. Hey, I have a query. Might be an AMA Vintage Days sort of query. I just found a 71 Kawasaki 350 triple. It's a basket case, of course, but reasonably complete. I'd like to fix it up, but it's only 2/3 present, and I have zero interest in tracking down a bunch of obscure original parts.
Oh, hold on.
I got to bounce.
You got to bounce?
I'm going to head out. Yeah, it's been fun. It's
save
been
that
real.
email for next week.
This is a good one. I like it.
I know.
I want to read it, but
Save
I
it
got
for
to
next
go.
week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cheers,
Sorry.
Jim.
Cheers.
All right, see you,
Good
Jim.
to see everybody.
See you, Jimmy.
Cheers.
So is this something that would be entirely devalued by doing this whole aftermarket exhaust seat, etc.? Worth a cylinder hone and a new tune-up parts and a half-ass paint job, or worth a cylinder rebuild, etc., etc.? I think the biggest obstacle to a stock rebuild would be a rusted-out exhaust and gauge and hand control cables. Sorry. Does this bike have a racing background or following? Where maybe it needs to go to the vintage racing crowd instead of being my tool around town bike. Hopefully
Have you
they're
established
pretty
what the bike is?
Yeah, it's a Kawasaki S2.
Yep.
Yep,
Why does it
350.
say hurricane in the subject?
I don't know.
Okay.
No, it's not a Hurricane. It's an S2.
So yeah.
I mean, God blimey.
They're peaky little bikes.
Yeah, S2s. It's a little 40 horsepower bike. I mean,
Oh, yeah. All right.
they're it's a valuable bike kept stock.
So he says that it's 2/3 present.
However, if the alternative is not getting it on the road, just get it on the road however you can.
Can I jump in on this one?
Yeah.
If it's 2/3 there, any other parts you take off and replace, save them.
Yes.
Don't cut or weld anything that can't be undone or replaced.
Right.
You can always go back. This can always be a bike that can be restored, but have fun with it now.
But I'm thinking 71's probably year one for that.
Ooh.
Might be, yeah.
No, I know it's year one for that.
But isn't the question, if it's going
Yeah.
to be a concourse bike, that's one thing. But if it's a runaround bike that looks good, that's a different level.
I
isn't it?
mean, the question is this a vintage racing bike or is this a tool around town bike?
Or is it a show bike potentially?
I don't think the S2s didn't have a particular racing heritage. It's a quick little bike, but
I think the answer is how much money and time you want to put into it is the answer.
How much do you love it?
But get it
yeah,
running.
just
get
get
it
it
running.
running however you can.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all very nice having concourse bikes, but at the end of the day, if you have an incomplete bike or a rusty bike and you say, look, I want to turn it new again, I mean, you're talking throwing a lot of money at it.
Well, and I'll also
Right.
say, remember when we were at the Laguna Seca races and we saw Rob Talbot's bike,
yes,
which was a vintage
It's a
BMW.
resto mod.
It's a resto mod. He was putting bits and pieces from other bikes on it and made a very good looking bike.
Same as my Trident.
Yeah.
Right,
There's
exactly.
There is nothing stock about
If
my
you
Trident.
do a good job,
Right.
you're not going to devalue it.
You know,
Right.
I would
Yeah.
argue that Rob's BMW is far better looking than the stock BMW of that same age. I would argue that absolutely my Trident is far better looking than a stock 72 Trident.
Go Bagel.
Yeah, and if the money in Kawasaki triples is in originality, this bike already has lost its original parts anyway.
Right,
So just have fun with it and build it out to something that's that's fun. You put some expansion
blocks
pipes on it. Or put expansion pipes on it and some updated carbs and
Yeah.
and rip it around.
All right, Emma, we have time for one more. You have a question there. I'm going to beg of you not to make it a long answer
Okay, I'm going to read
because
it.
Raymond's got to pee.
Oh,
Oh, I got to pee.
this is from Will. Would you say it's Christman or Christman? It's from Will.
Just Will. Will.
Good day, Misfits. It's been a minute or two since I last wrote. I wanted to ask what might be some stupid questions. I'm finally approaching a point where I consider replacing my trusty 2013 Ninja 650
Okay.
with ABS
Mm-hmm.
with a larger sport touring machine.
Yes.
I want something with shaft drive,
Okay.
as I'd prefer to chirp miles without stopping to throw the ass end in the air every few hours. Very good. Recently ridden a BMW GS, BMW K, Yamaha FJR, Kawasaki Concourse, or even a Triumph Trophy. But all things being equal, I don't know which to choose. I'd prefer something with simple maintenance, which makes me lean towards the FJR. I know a lot of the Ironbutt rally finishers swear or used to by the FJR, but I need a sanity check before I make this leap. Alternatively, if there's a shaft-driven touring bike from the last 5 years or so you think I should consider, I'm all ears. Feel free to just tell me to buy a Scott Oiler and keep riding too. After I relocate from rural Kentucky, which is not where he grew up, back to the land of the non-regional Midwestern dialect, I'll have to roll back out to Santa Cruz and make good on my offer of tacos and beer that I made in 2017. He says, damn, time flies. God, it does, doesn't it, Will? In the meantime, it looks like Patreon stopped taking my money, so I need to fix that. Anything you all need in care package, fancy batch small gin, Kentucky bourbon, 10 mil sockets.
Thanks.
Tequila works.
Will, Chrisman in Eastman, Kentucky.
Thanks, Will.
What did he mention a Super Tenere?
No, that was going to be,
No,
I
he
think
said
that...
a sport tour.
he
Super
was-
Tenere is not a sport tour.
Yes, Super 10, as much as I like them, it's not a sport touring bike. God, friggin' FJR, though, it's a very complicated bike.
Well,
And
the
they-
new concourses are very nice.
And they go to a lot of mileage. I just did a service on none other than Misfit Isaac's concourse, which is at 100,000 miles, and it's an amazing bike.
And then he didn't mention Viffers, did he?
They're getting old now, though.
Yeah.
The past 4 years. Viffers a great bike. I mean,
Yeah,
oh my
Viffers a great bike.
God, they're brilliant. Incidentally,
What about a Moto Guzzi?
when they went, I think as much as I like Moto Guzzis, they're quirky.
Get a flying fortress.
like the Grizzo. I mean, that's headed in that direction in terms of a sport tour.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
yeah,
he wants
maybe.
something easy to maintain. Low maintenance seems to
That's
be
a
the
Moto
key.
Guzzi.
What?
Yeah, I mean, they're better than a inline four.
Yeah, they're quirky.
Low maintenance.
Yeah, they're quirky. And I think Phil would be the first to mention they're quirky. I think, and bear in mind, I love Moto Guzzis, but you stand a lot more chance of getting a Japanese inline four
Yeah.
up to 100,000 than a Moto Guzzi. Yeah, Viffers. Do you know when a Viffer was new? It was the RF was considered competition for a Viffer. Same sort of sport touring sort of thing. I think, God, I'm going to upset a lot of people. I think Concourse is probably a better bet than an FJR. They're both enormously complicated bikes, but I think in terms of maintenance,
Well,
I think you're going to spend less on the concourse than you will on the FJR. See, as reliable as these things are, you're going to pay big money to maintain them, especially to do the valve clearances. I don't know. You know?
well, he said shaft drive. So, what about the BMWs?
Well, you mentioned those.
They are very expensive to maintain, though.
Yeah, that's true. What about a Tracer?
Yes.
Tracer's not a bad bike. It's one of those bikes that it's under the radar. Every now and then they show up. I'm like, I keep forgetting about this bike.
Chain drive, though.
Okay. All right. I'm going to throw out. I always like to throw out a whammy.
Yes.
I'm going to throw out a whammy.
Yes.
It's not technically a tourer,
Yes.
but I think you could.
Yes.
A Nikken.
No. No.
That's my whammy.
No.
You
Dude,
make those?
I rode that thing and it was so comfortable and I felt so confident on that bike with that double front end. I really surprisingly enjoyed it. I said I could possibly own one of these one day.
Do
I
you
really enjoyed
think
it.
if you went to the pub and got drunk enough, you could walk out and your Nikon would have 4 front ends?
I'm throwing that out as a wild card. That's all.
It's wild.
No, I think really between the FJR, the Concourse, and the Viffer,
I mean,
those are like the
they're much of the same thing. I think either it boils down to taste. Again, I will probably upset a lot of people. I think the Concourse is a better looking bike.
Let's throw out one more. What about Triumph?
They have is it shaft?
No.
I think they're all chains.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
all chain.
But anyway, yeah. So, yeah.
I mean, if
Again,
you want to go chain, you could also do a Ninja 1000,
Yes, you could.
which is a fabulous bike and cheap.
Well, if you're going to I would rather see a Versus 1000. It's more comfortable for touring than a Ninja
Yeah, but that's the argument, though. That's technically an adventure bike.
or a
but it's-
V-Strom.
Yeah, then you start getting
They're
into
not
ADVs.
venture bikes.
I
They're
know.
fake
I
They're
know.
just a comfortable riding position. That's it.
Right.
That's it.
But if you want something that looks a little more sporty, a Ninja would be the way to go.
I'm going to stick with a Nikken.
Good choice.
There you go.
3 wheels are better than 2.
All right. So I mentioned that our guest Chris Hopper had to postpone.
Yeah, that's a shame, but we'll talk to him next time.
Yeah, so we're still going to do it because for all the naysayers out there who didn't believe, did you hear what Chris did?
No.
I didn't hear. I mentioned it last week, Bagel. He recently rode 100,000 miles in 100 days.
Wow.
And a lot of
Nice.
people said it's not possible. And Harley Davidson, because he rode a Harley, Harley Davidson just officially recognized him and his feat yesterday.
Nice.
So
Very cool.
for the naysayers out there, there's it's official, but there's still a lot of questions. That's why I have all these questions.
Well, yes.
How did you do it?
All I'm going to say is where there's a will, there's a way.
Though I can tell you, and somebody wrote
Why?
to us to let us know just prior to that he did another Iron Butt rally. He's a long hauler. He's a long distance rider.
So, I mean,
Yep.
it was kind of pitched last week that this was his first long distance ride, but it's not, is it? I mean, he's already
No,
very
he's-
experienced in
No,
techniques.
He's known in the community. In fact, our friend Chris said, I wanted to be sure you're aware that a few weeks before he started his insane ride, he did a 12,000 miles in 11 days during the Iron Butt Rally and came in 24th out of 75 people. Out of 75 starters and 61 finishers. So, so he's a long distance rider. So yeah, 12,000 miles in 11 days. And then, can you imagine?
But
Raymond?
yeah,
No,
but
that's
there's
crazy.
there's this huge difference between 11 days and 3 frigging months.
Yeah.
I think once
Every
you get
day.
into the routine, I don't know.
just
One
keep
thing I
going.
know for sure, I am not going to invite him to the Numbnuts Challenge. If he shows up,
Yeah,
I'm
he
going to
could
say,
be- yeah.
I think
be a
we're
ringer.
all
We're
going
all
to
giving
agree. We're all going to agree. You can just take the money now, so save us
We're
all some
not
pain.
worthy.
Save
We're
us
not
the pain.
worthy.
Bagel, your nuts are pretty numb too, though.
Well, yes, but that's above and beyond.
I got a fire taint, not numb nuts.
Okay, I may edit that part out or
On
not.
that note,
So we're to the end. Thank you, Emma, for running the garage.
No, you're very
for me.
welcome.
I had a great trip. So
I'm glad you enjoyed your trip, and I'm always
Yes.
happy to run the garage in your absence.
I appreciate it. But also thanks to all of our listeners, our Patreon subscribers, and also people have sent us some gear for the gear room. I'm coming up with a new idea for the gear. I think I may put a call out to, or like flyers to the schools, like for students, new riders, come on down.
That's a good idea.
Right.
Yeah.
very
I
cool.
mean, they, like, I know Micah and Isaac, they tell people who need gear, but I'm thinking of just like doing a 1-day free sale.
Yeah.
And promote it heavily. Come on down and let us put you in some gear. That way we can take
Clear
new
out our
riders.
closet.
Well, not just clear them out, but take them in and say, like, what gear do you have? What kind of riding do you do? Are you prepared for rain? Are you prepared for this? You know, and see what we can complement their existing suit with.
Exactly.
Because for all of us experienced riders, we have many, well, except for Emma, she just does the same thing. And I don't know how you're not any type of weather, you're wearing the same gear. But for most of us, we've got hot weather gear, cold weather gear, rain gear, you know, and so you don't need just one set. You need a lot. So that's what I'm working on. So thank you to all the people sending us gear. And especially thanks to everyone who emails us with all this stuff. We appreciate it. Keep them coming. Send it to recyclemotorcyclegarage@gmail.com. And don't forget, if you want to sign up for one of our trips, go to adifferentagenda.com. And lastly, final plug, revsisters.com. Get your free pass. It's online, so you can view it on YouTube. And this one is featuring women writers and women filmmakers. So there's some really cool stuff.
And that's going on right now?
Mm-hmm. Right now. It's worth it. Bagel, you should go register just to watch Steph Jevons and going to Antarctica so you can see how she did it. It's pretty crazy. Or you can just go back to the episode we interviewed her when she talked about that. Anything else we got to mention?
I think that's it for now. Yeah, it's been a busy week at Motortown. I'm continuing to get busy.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what you pull up with in the back of your truck next.
I'll bring something nice down next week.
Okay, we got a treat. And of course, come on over and visit us.
Yep.
We like visitors. So there you go. Thanks, everyone. I think we're ready to get out of here. This is Liza.
Stumpy John.
Emma, darling.
Ray.
Bagel.
And we are out of here.
Cool.
Cool.